to touch on the whole inflation thing, it says U.S. inflation hits new 4-time decade high of 7.5 in January. Bitcoin traders keep track of the inflation rate because some of them think cryptocurrency as inflation hedge, and the Federal Reserve's expected response to economic conditions often dictates the market direction. This is something I've kind of...
Hey man, those are ones, bro. Give me something better than that.
U.S. consumer prices accelerated to a new 4-year decade high of 7.5 in January, just a week after government deployed report signaled a strong job market and fast wage growth. U.S. Labor Department on Thursday reported last month's increase in the Consumer Price Index, the most widely followed gauge for tracking inflation, in a statement on its website. The increase was the fastest since February of 1982 and exceeded economists' predictions of 7.3. The core CPI, which measures price changes excluding food and energy because they tend to be more volatile, rose to 0.6 over month, same pace as in December. Bitcoin, which some crypto investors believe to be a hedge against inflation because of its supply limit, is down 1.9 in the minutes after the report was released by the Labor Department's Bureau of Labor Statistics on Thursday. The 10-year U.S. Treasury yield peaked over 2%, first time in 2019. The biggest driver of overall inflation continued to be used car prices, with an increase of 40.5% in January from a year ago and 1.5% higher than December. Food prices surged 0.9 month over month, adding up to 7% increase year over year, the highest since 1981. Energy costs almost 1% in January. So a lot of people looking at, if you look at like 1% or whatever, maybe it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's everything versus your dollar. And I think that's a big difference between whether it's superior money, Bitcoin is, in the sense of how secure it is and decentralized, which is awesome, right? Because no one's in control. And they can't just leave or your bank just disappear, right? On top of that, the argument for a long time probably couldn't even been made that like the dollar isn't strong, right? Because it is like the strongest or one of the strongest fiat. But, you know, it's used all over the world. Well, the dollar is strong. Well, it's getting weaker. So now we can have that argument also, like security and value, right? Which is a big deal. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, give people money, keep printing money. You're gonna lose value, obviously. You know what I mean? The more you have money out there, the more it's gonna lose. Yeah, and Bitcoin doesn't print money or coins. What will the Feds do with inflation hitting a new high and labor market hot? Many analysts expect that Federal Reserve to be even more aggressive in raising interest rates than previously forecasted. The Feds keep interest rates near zero after the late Federal Open Market Committee in January by hinting at rate hikes starting in March. Damn. People weren't working, man. People weren't working for the past year and a half. And by that, I mean people that were probably working in service industry. You know what I mean? The service industry and the entertainment industry and just any industry that you need to service people were pretty much, you know, locked down for a while, except if you worked at like, you know, like fast food or grocery store or something like that. So people weren't making money, man. People weren't making money. People weren't doing much. I'm pretty sure, I mean, I haven't followed this because I didn't really look into it, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people were, you know, living off credit cards and like, this is my theory, they're living off credit cards and also just, you know, waiting for, you know, the mortgage companies or loans to be able to refinance your home and refinance your debt amount back into it, so you don't have to worry about those, you know, year to half a year of no payments that you had in your home mortgage. So by them doing that, kind of helps stimulate the economy. But that's like you're living on a credit card, dude, with interest free. Yeah. The bill's gonna come. You know, are we ready to pay that bill? You know what I mean?
Honestly, this has been the biggest amount of time that unemployment was available to tons of people, and they gave out way more money. Like they're giving, from what I understand, because I didn't get it, but like partial your pay from your company, and like I think it's like $400 or $600 every week on top. So you have people, and a lot of people that don't even make that much are getting I think it was like $600 a week federal. So it's $2,400 on top of whatever money they're making is like a part of their check too. So they're actually making, a lot of people are making more, 3,000 plus 4,000 to sit at home and do nothing. Well, whatever, that's cool. You don't get sick and everything. Good for you, honestly. Good for some of them that worked way too hard and could take a break. But but it does. People didn't go back to work because it's like some of these people are making twice as much for doing nothing, and it's like you don't want to baby people forever. Like, okay, you can't just pour out money because I think we gave out trillions of dollars because of this, and I mean I'm glad that people are safe and everything because of the pandemic, whatnot, but. You can't do that. You can't do that. I think we did it for over a year. Like realistically, you shouldn't be doing that. That's insane. What do you think's going to happen? So all those people got free money. It's like, oh, I have more money, but like your money devalues. Like over time, you might actually have less money because the inflation was so high. To be honest, but I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, if I was working at a spot where I was just at a restaurant or I was working at a retail place and, I was barely getting any hours of work and I was getting paid minimum wage and it was just like, just fire me already, dude. Like, I'd rather just chill and get unemployment. Yeah. And then all of a sudden this hits and they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to have to close everything down and you're going to get unemployment. Cool, man. Wait, and then you hear about this whole like, oh, plus I'm going to get an additional what was it like? You said $300 a week or something like that? $600 a week? What? Right. What is it? Yeah, dude, that's more money than I would be making if I worked a full-time job at a minimum wage, spot. Double. Yeah. So it was just like free money and people were getting paid to stay home. Like they were like, yeah, dude, I get to stay home and Netflix and chill. I get to go online and buy some Doge and pray that it goes to $1 and buy some comic books and buy some cards and buy anything collectible because I know as soon as we go back to work, I want to make a little bit of money or have something stacked up that I've wanted, and I actually worked through the whole pandemic, so yeah, I don't really know anything about that, but I'm just saying, I saw the motivation. Like it really, like I felt like it really like demotivated the working class. You know what I mean? Like it really was like, no, how about we just stay home and you still keep giving my $600 a week and let's just keep it at that, buddy. And I think a lot of people were happy about that. I think like it was one of those things where it was like, but also, I also know the other hand where I've seen that money was delayed. Yeah. It wasn't like you were getting it off the bat. It was like you were with no money for like, months and months, and you're like, dude, hopefully I qualify for this. You're kind of stressing. You're like, dude, hopefully I qualify for this. And then, yeah, and all of a sudden you look in your account and you got like $4 or $5 grand in there. You're like, yeah, moving on up.
Well, it's a really weird situation because you might just get frustrated because like, I think over 50% of people were told that they're not allowed to work. It's like, even if you're a person that's ambitious or whatever, I'm like, I have no problem. I'll go get another job, get turned down a bunch of times. Literally because of nothing to do with you, just almost everything closed for a couple months at least. Then you're like, well, fine, I give up. Give me my stupid money. It always made me laugh with these people. They're like, oh, I don't want to take free money, but they also complain about paying too much in taxes. I'm like, wait, what? Okay, now's your chance to get some taxes. Like that money that you always would take. It's like, people don't make any sense.
Yeah, man. You can't win. Yeah, for sure. Let's take a break from this inflation talk, and let's talk about some of this bourbon. Go ahead.
So a couple episodes ago, he bought an Elijah Craig, just the standard bottle, and I had just a little bit left of the barrel proof, which is like uncut. I don't quite know how to describe it, but basically I think they don't dilute it or mix barrels. It's so like if some is really high proof and some is low, they'll like kind of mix them together so you get like an average proof. This is like cut from high proof barrels and then that's it. Like it's sometimes single barrel, sometimes it'll maybe be a mix of like the higher ones, right? So this is 68%. So it's 136.8 proof. So it's pretty strong. The stuff is amazing. I'll show the camera real quick. But I'm just like a big barrel proof guy. I don't get these very often. They're kind of expensive. They're like, $60, $80 bottle. But they're nice to have, back in the back of your cabinet for a special occasion. So yeah, I thought it'd be fun to try this one since we just tried the other one recently. So
All right, let's give it a shot, man. Here you go.
it's hot, huh? It's good. It's a little hot.
I feel like, yeah, I feel like I had a lot of like I have an internal cut, and like this is just like rubbing alcohol, just like
It goes down hard.
like it's irritating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it tastes good. It actually tastes really good.
It's really, honestly, some of this stuff, I mean, it is pretty hard. I think a lot of people wouldn't like this, but it has great flavor for being that high percentage. It's almost something you don't want to like. It's like, please just let me like the cheaper stuff, right? But it's fun. They come out like 2-3 times a year, so if I happen to see them, I might pick one up. Actually, the last time I just skipped it because it's like, actually I had 2 bottles of this, so I still have a little bit of another one. But over the last probably 3 or 4 years, I picked up 2 bottles, so it's good stuff. I like it.
Yeah, I feel like a real rugged man right now drinking this. You know what I mean? Like, damn, like take on the world after drinking this.
Bourbon, I don't think bourbon gets a whole lot higher. I mean, there's always like moonshine and stuff, but like then like 65-70%. I see a lot of bottles like up there. Anything above 60 is a lot already. But yeah, like I think I had one that was like 69. 68 is pretty high, honestly. Yeah, so yeah, it's spicy, it's fiery. Still has that like caramel, vanilla, like smoke. Any flavors you're picking up?
Yeah, I'm picking up some flavors after my palate just got sterilized, bro. Like that's a sterilization process complete. Like everything's just fucking sterile, dude. Like
can't even have any kids anymore after that.
Yeah, dude, like,
boom. Oh, what?
It's like, dude,
I'm a single man again.
You have no bacteria and no virus, dude. Like, dude, this is a COVID combatant, dude. Like, you just like you've been around people that have had COVID. Here, just take a swig of this and tell me how you feel. And you're like, dude, it's dead. COVID's dead. It's not there anymore.
Fair enough. It'll clean you out in more ways than one, right? So, right on. You want to continue?
Yeah, dude, that was fun, man.
Good stuff.
That was fun. My soul's cleansed now. I feel good.
Church and the whiskey.
Yeah, whiskey church.
Go to the altar. You just
damn, bro. This is a manly drink, dude.
Right? Have you had anything like this? This is good.
Yeah, I think it was like rubbing alcohol or something. I don't know, with vanilla flavoring. That's kidding, dude.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's really good.
What's rubbing alcohol percentage? Like what, 75% or some shit?
It's
like,
almost rubbing alcohol.
yeah,
Just a little flavor.
Yeah, let's throw some vanilla flavoring from Starbucks and let's fucking package it up. Hook it up. Hey,
check out the beer review.
Yeah, check out the beer review on that one. He kind of like went back. He went way back. He went back to like one of our first videos when we were talking about vanilla flavoring, but
artificial.
Okay, artificial vanilla flavoring. And if you're curious about it, it's very explicit, so just be careful when you're watching that show. Yeah, it gets pretty explicit. Anyways, with inflation well above 2%, dang, that's a lot, man. I'm losing money right now. And a strong labor market, the committee expects it will be soon appropriate to raise the target rate of the federal fund rate. The Fed said in statements after the meeting. Cryptocurrency market has been a sharp downwards after a period of all-time highs in November. Yeah, November was a good month, man. It was like record-breaking for Bitcoin and all kinds of crazy nonsense. But it has recovered in some extent. By recovery, I think they meant corrected itself.
Depends when it was written.
Yeah, true. in some extent the last couple of weeks, which could be a result of the Fed's hawkishness as inflation has picked up. Inflation still has less influence on Bitcoin prices than any other speculative factor, said Scott Bauer, a former Goldman Sachs trader who's now a CEO of a Prosper Trading Academy. The idea that Bitcoin is an inflation hedge and really not been approved yet is still somewhat theoretical. Well, you know what I mean, how theoretical do you have to be when it doesn't increase in anything? You know what I mean? I mean, the only inflation you can see is when FUD hits and the thing just freaking tanks. You know what I mean? Like it drops it like a hot potato.
It's already gone up so much though. Like it.
Yeah, I mean, but he's talking about a hedge of against inflation, and I'm like, yes, and it's only a hedge when it's doing well. When it's not doing well, it's not really a hedge at that point because you're losing money.
I don't know. I mean, it's like what $30,000-$40,000. It's definitely appreciated, and whether it goes up or down.
Oh yeah, okay, okay, yeah,
maybe that was my point. Maybe
yeah,
my point.
you have a good point there. He has a good point.
I have a good point every once in a while.
Yeah. So what he's saying is like he didn't say it, but I think this is what he's saying. He's like, if you bought in, let's say $5,000, and it goes up to 75, and it comes back down to 30, like you're still winning. You're still winning. But if you bought at 75 and it's down at 35, you're losing.
Yeah.
So I think that's what he meant, and I was actually looking at the losers instead of the winners. So yeah, so there's always two sides of this angle.
It really depends when you buy.
It really depends on your purchase price, right? Because like there's some. Go ahead.
Oh, just the point is undeniable that it appreciates, like way more than any other asset. Also, sometimes like can't quite get their mind wrapped around, and I thought I'd touch on this because I've thought about it many times during our podcast, and I haven't. Sorry to cut in the middle of this article. This is it's called the Bitcoin Obituaries. It says Bitcoin has died 444 times, and it has all these articles and stuff that it's just like hysterical. Most recent death, Bitcoin is just a crappy tech stock. That was in January 24th, December 15th. Why Bitcoin can't be a currency. Oh, sorry, that was 2010. But there's deaths by year, and it's like, yeah.
6 times for
Yeah, it gets China bans Bitcoin like it's like a birthday party every couple of months. It's just like another thing they got to like check off the to-do list. They got to send a present. They got to get rid of Bitcoin again. It comes back and they don't know what to do. But 47 times in 2021, 93 times 2018, 125 times in 2017, and it crashed super hard. So I can kind of see why people think that. People have some interesting thoughts about Bitcoin, but I think they don't have the fully developed, fleshed out, like what it actually does and provides and what it can be. So, people like it. People believe in it. Yeah, some people like leave it, or a lot of things. I think the haters the most are people that just never get involved. But there's, even if people sell off, more people like the idea and they really believe in it. How's it not going to appreciate? It's kind of ridiculous. And that's what mass adoption is. It's more and more people like this. So I just think this is funny really quick. You can get into a bunch of articles and stuff, but it kind of just shows that it's cyclical and people get negative and, oh, it's going away. It's going to zero. It never does. I don't think that's even possible with how decentralized it is anymore. Like, if there's a couple miners, they would soak it all up because they want to take they want to make the Bitcoins, they make the money, right? So it's kind of like a fun, comical thing. If anything, I'd be more concerned that the dollar is dead and dying, like honestly. So what do you think about all this?
Okay, so I have a question. So is this articles published? Like it's counting articles, and like it's like, okay, this art, like what articles is it counting? Is it like doing like legitimate articles or something? Like what's it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, not just some friggin' Twitter post. Let's see.
Daily Mail, Financial Times.
Oh yeah, these are legit. Like
probably a mix.
Yeah, it's like legit, and then some kind of sketchy websites where these guys are just think they're journalists and they want to put up an article about this. But yeah,
so there's a lot of legitimate stuff
yeah. So you have like Bloomberg,
financial people.
you have financial websites just posting it, and it keeps track of all the articles that it posts within the year, which is hilarious.
Yeah. So there's a lot, right? Like this.
So now I understand why China and Bitcoin cryptocurrency bans, and it has six of them. It's not that it died six times; it's just that six websites posted about the ban.
I think they ban
Yeah.
it every other year.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
Personally, I think they'll never stop it, but they just come out and try to say that they did just to scare people.
well,
Yeah, and that's how I feel.
until recently, like I think over half of all Bitcoin mining was China. So, like we're banning it every year, and they actually were to some degree, and I think some of the articles were FUD, but then also it was legitimate. But it makes me wonder if you're mining half the Bitcoin, or at least people, individuals in your country are, is that just FUD for price suppression so you can mine more? Like that's kind of like how complicated this gets. That's kind of what I think, honestly. I don't think it matters. I just think it kind of shows as growing regardless, and people are doing it regardless. And a lot of those people, China and I think it was like Kazakhstan or something like that, it was illegal to mine Bitcoin. There's another article here that Russia was proposing. Russian ministry wants to legalize Bitcoin mining in specific areas. The proposal aims to recognize mining as a commercial activity and introduce taxes on realized profits. So this is kind of interesting. The world's doing a lot of interesting things. I think, some countries are banning it over and over again. We got other ones that are trying to seeing the value and everything. While the Russian government continues to work on a regulatory regime for digital assets, a federal ministry has made another proposal regarding crypto mining industry. Russia's Ministry of Economic Development has greenlighted the concept of crypto mining regulation in the country, proposing to allow mining operations in areas with sustainable surplus in electricity generation. As part of the proposal, the ministry suggested introducing lower fees on setting up mining farms and data centers in specific Russian regions, as well as offering reduced energy rates to such facilities. The ministry also wants to establish a power use limit for mining by individuals. Reporting proposed to introduce higher energy rates for increased energy spending. Authority is yet to determine a threshold amount for this. The report notes, according to the ministry, newly proposed rules will remove the risks of insufficient power supply for housing, social facilities, infrastructure in other regions. Additionally, the ministry reportedly proposed recognizing crypto mining as a commercial activity and introduce taxes on realized profits for cryptocurrency mining. So this is pretty interesting in the sense of proposed recognizing crypto mining as a commercial activity and introducing taxes. You don't see that a lot. I think that might become more and more normal, but anyways, I just thought it was a fun thing to touch on really quick. Clearly, they're seeing value and interest in some ways, and at least see some countries do this. Like, okay, only this part or that part is set up, almost like a commercial or like a federal utility or something like that, right? I think El Salvador was doing that too. So, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, man. Oh man.
Crazy though.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think like other countries are getting into it because they're getting educated. They're getting educated.
Yeah.
They were against it. They were banning it because they didn't know. They didn't know if they could control the beast. Mm-hmm. Now that they figured out,
make money.
Yeah,
oh
as they figured out, like
up.
yeah, as they figured out, I'm pretty sure they've asked some savvy crypto people like, what can we do to make money off this and make it profitable, and not just legalize something that people are going to make money and we're going to be left in the dust, right? And then they'll overthrow the government, and then that's not what we want. We want to be in control. So they figured out a way. They're like, okay, cool, we're gonna mine and we're gonna pretty much monopolize mining. We're gonna literally have like a massive warehouse like literally just set up for mining, and we're gonna mine coins and make millions of dollars a day. And that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be a monopoly now within the government. So
monopoly on top of decentralization.
Yeah,
baby.
exactly.
It's going backwards, but at least it's something.
It's going backwards, and
it's something. It's better than nothing.
Yeah, and if it takes this for a government to approve it and then later on backdoor them on something else, you know what I mean? Oh, it's too late, guys. You approved it. It's out of control. That'd be like the foreseeable thing that I would see is like, yeah, like let them take over the mining and monopolize that. But guess what? Then we're just gonna backdoor them on something else, and then they're just gonna be like, oh, well, mining isn't working as well now. Ban again. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? We're gonna ban it. Yeah. Oh, well, what? Proof of work isn't good. Proof of stake is what's going on. How do we do that? How do we capitalize on that? We need to buy into this crap. Come on. You know what I mean? They're gonna be like, why am I gonna buy into Bitcoin and whatever other cryptocurrency you can stake when I was just mining it and getting it for free?
Yeah. At some point, so the more people that join the Bitcoin network, the harder the math problems or whatever, the hash rate, like everything goes up, right? The complex breaking down of the problems go up. So eventually there's diminishing returns. I mean, they're already, I mean, you can definitely say there are exponentially from where it started, right? Because one dude in his house, garage, etc., could do it, you know, in 2012, and now probably since 2015, that's no longer. I mean, I remember seeing a Chinese like factory, right, where they have like hundreds of graphics cards and just computers set up to do this. So this one dude in his house a couple years ago can't be competitive with mining anymore. But the question is, after so many countries and people are doing this, like, when is it not worth it to do anymore? And then what my big question is, so Bitcoin probably is just going to become a thing that like it's frozen in time, almost like, okay, not a lot of people are adding to the network, whatever, but it's still running. But then what comes after that? That's what I want to know. What's the next thing that all these countries ban because they freak out and they realize it's good later, right? So, I mean, a strong contender for that to me is Ethereum, just because everything is built on it and people love it. I'm not saying it's not the same, but I just think Ethereum already is so big that it has so much global reach. But I'm wondering what happens. Yeah, like what's the next big thing, or that sovereign states and countries go after? I don't know. There's no way to answer that. It's just a really interesting like thought question. Philosophical concept is, I don't know, the next like 10 years of this stuff will be really interesting. I don't know what's going to happen, but
oh man. So when they, yeah, that's where I'm confused now, because like when governments say they ban Bitcoin, I'm thinking they ban Bitcoin and everything below it. You know what I'm saying? Like Bitcoin, Ethereum, everything's banned. Like all cryptocurrencies banned.
Well, they probably are.
Yeah, because like they wouldn't just ban Bitcoin and let Ethereum run wild. You know what I mean? Like that's not gonna happen.
But that's not what I'm saying. Like like Russia just okayed Bitcoin specifically because they're going to mine that, but they don't even understand. But what happens when one of the thousands of coins now elevates and starts to do really, really well, and they're going to freak out about that one because they don't understand it, right? And then when like years down the road, oh, it's actually good. Okay, we'll start mining or staking or whatever. It's just, there's, like I said, there's no way to answer this. Ethereum is probably going to just get bigger and bigger and bigger, but who knows what's going to, become so big that nation states can't ignore it, like Bitcoin, so.
Yeah. I just want them to, I don't care what they do, they mine it or whatever, dude. I just want to be able to use it and not worry about, what I mean? Like these guys banning it and making my life savings go down the drain, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm not really into mining. Mining takes way too much effort, and I'm learning how to pretty much stake. Staking is pretty much the easiest way. I can do it in my room or
for sure
while I'm taking a shower, dude. I can stake while I'm taking a shower. You know what I mean? And then like, yeah, yeah, I don't have to move it. I don't even have to move. Well, do I? I think I do have to move. Yeah. Just kidding. What? No, I was messing with you. I was messing with you. Yeah. So yeah.
You want to go back to this article? This was the.
What? Yeah. This article, because we went on a pretty strong tangent about articles, and then Bitcoin dying, and then we went straight into Russia, cocaine mining. Yeah. It was kind of like what? You like it? It was good. I mean, on your toes. I mean, yeah, it was good. Yeah, because I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, we're doing this, and then Russia approving mining.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
All over the place.
No, you're good.
Just flowed.
Yeah, I did. I'm cool with it. Okay, so back to the inflation article.
Inflation 10 minutes ago.
CoinDesk put this out.
So we already read half of it.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so we read
jumping
half of
around.
this, and we're gonna go back with like I think it's the middle of the article. Let me go back down
But
here.
we're awesome, and you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's pretty much the middle because it's almost over.
Yeah.
Um,
So we were talking about.
we were right here. Yeah.
So we did this like 10, 15 minutes ago for our epic tangent. So now we're back.
We're back. We're back to the original.
To our inflation. It
Uh,
all ties together.
yeah, it does. Okay, so onward. However, the recent price movement in crypto market has partly been caused by economic factors such as inflation and the likelihood of higher rates, according to Bauer. The Fed is not going to be as aggressive as some are saying that it will. I don't think we're going to get 7 or 8 rate hikes. I don't think we're going to get a 50 basis point in hikes in March. He said regarding a price prediction for Bitcoin this year, he can see it grow anywhere from 30,000 to 50,000, depending on the overall equity market decisions made by the Federal Reserve. If I had to put my odds on one or of the two, I'd say it would be like 80-20 to the upside rather than the downside, he said. And who was this? The Fed, who was saying, oh, that Bauer guy. The Bauer guy from Bauer is a former Goldman Sachs guy. Okay. Yeah. He said that. Okay. I was like so confused when it was like he said, yeah. Okay. Let's run it back. They're saying that he's saying that he's not going to see rate hikes from interest.
Right. Or a little bit, not like a lot.
Yeah, not enough to cause massive inflation and maybe go into a recession because rates go up. Not a lot of people are going to be able to spend things. Banks and then businesses borrowing and businesses, and all that's going to really slow down. It's going to slow down employment rate and everything. So yeah,
it's a balance. You have to figure out.
It's a balance.
Strengthens the dollar while keeping the economy healthy.
Exactly. Like you want to, so what he said, what Alex said.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, he got it.
It's complicated.
It's not an easy, raise the hike so we can get more money and then we can pay everything off. Kind of like when you work a lot of overtime and you're like, that extra money is going to go to pay off some debt. It's not like that because at that point you're just like, well,
you don't destroy the economy if you work overtime.
Well, if I work overtime, then my coworkers don't get enough money or whatever. Like that's how they look at it. Like, oh, the other guy's not gonna get money, and therefore that sector is gonna be down, and that sector is gonna cause a dominoes effect, and then all this kind of chaos is gonna break loose, and that's how they gotta figure that out. So I'm happy I'm not that person.
Right. Yeah, I've heard a lot about like the Fed right now. It's like you don't want to have that job. It's so complicated. How the hell can you like account for 300 plus million people like at once? It's, hopefully it works out. And what they do basically it's hot. Some like it hot. You like it. It's good stuff. I mean, it's addictive. It's hot, but the more you taste it, you're like, I don't know. I'm a huge fan.
It's boiling hot.
They kind of like adjust rates slightly and see how the market reacts and everything. Honestly, crypto prices and like all traditional financial markets are down. Breathing fire over there.
I'm just trying to blow that flame. I feel like Charizard right now. Just fucking blowing fire, dude.
Leo the Dragon. We're gonna make an NFT. They adjust the rates slightly to see how the market reacts, and it's more fear than it is, I think, actually anything changing. I think money will pile back in.